We all know that reading is fundamental, but believe it or not all students have access to books. Literacy expert Susan Neuman and Director of Research and Insights at First Book, Julianne Appleton, are joining us now to discuss the current state of classroom libraries. And in today's educational atmosphere, what would you say is the biggest problem that children are facing?
I think the biggest problem is access to books. Many of our children are living in book deserts, places where there's little access to books. And when you think of it over the summer, can you imagine the travesty that exists for so many children who would love to learn to read but cannot learn to read? So traditionally we've relied on school libraries, but school libraries for many schools do not exist. 2.5 million children do not have a school library. And so the classroom library has become ever so much more important, because we know children need access to book in close proximity to where they are. They'll pick up a book, they'll enjoy a book if it's nearby. And so a classroom library is really critically important in a classroom.
I've never heard the term book desert. That was a really interesting way to put it and a good visual for me. What is the literacy rich checklist though, and how did initial users respond to it?
So the Literacy Rich Classroom Library Checklist is a checklist that we developed based on research we did with a network of educators. So we surveyed over 1,200 educators to ask them about their classroom libraries and really get their feedback on what challenges they might be facing. And we learned from these educators that so many of them really want to focus on their classroom libraries and build a classroom library that will really foster a love of reading for the students they serve. But a lot of these educators don't have access to the definition of what should go into a good classroom library. So we developed the Literacy Rich Classroom Library Checklist to help educators out to fill in this gap where they're missing direction and really make it easier for them to build that robust classroom library that they know will engage their young readers from the very start.
And physical books, right? That is so important to development. And why would you say that though, versus maybe, something that they would read on a tablet or a computer?
Right. If you think of it, when you read on a tablet or a computer, you're doing it all by yourself. Think of a young child who is sitting by themselves who are trying to read a book on a digital device. It's not the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things we know is that literacy learning early on is a social activity. And so children learn about literacy by sitting close to their parents or loved ones. They learn about literacy by sitting close to their friends and engaging in fun books and reading together. And so classroom libraries are really designed to get kids to hang out together and to see the joys of reading and enjoy some of the topical books that are so important. So the physicality, the actual turning of pages, the smell of a book, there's something about it. And I bet you felt that early on in your life, and that's what made you become a lifelong reader.
Definitely, yeah. I should probably read more than I do, but I do prefer a book over something with a screen, right? But when we're building a classroom library, is quantity more valuable than quality in that sense?
Well, we know that children need both quantity and quality. They need to have a number of books from which to choose. Choosing a book is really important in their lives, and it enables them to develop a sense of interest and habit. And so we say about 10 to 20 books that are replenished on a regular basis should be in a classroom library, but they also need quality. And one of the things that Jules has done in examining that classroom library is to look at the diversity of books and what needs to go into it. So I'll turn it to Jules.
Yeah, that's right. So as Susan said, we do recommend 10 to 20 books per child so that children have the choice to choose the book that they're most interested in. But we also really recommend that the books rotating in your classroom library be of a variety of genres and a variety of reading levels. So this way, any student, no matter their personal interests and no matter their reading level, can go into that library and choose a book that will really grip them and engage them and turn them into a lifelong reader. And we also know that it's really important that within your collection of books, you have diverse titles in there, titles that reflect the multicultural society that we live in, because children want to see themselves reflected in the books they read. They want to relate to the characters and storylines that they're reading. So those are the things that we really highly recommend in classroom libraries.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad we're talking about it. So where can educators, parents, everyone, where can we all go to find the checklist and look at additional resources on this?
So you can visit firstbook.org to view the checklist and also view the results from the study that led to this checklist. And we also encourage any educators that are serving children in need to visit firstbook.org to learn how they can get their hands on some high quality brand new books at really affordable prices for their classrooms and programs. So that's firstbook.org for more information.
Thank you both so much for joining us here today. And man, I can't believe school's in session. So hope everyone's having a great start so far. And if you'd like to see this segment again, just head to our website. That's firstcoastliving.net.